According to LISEC, APC clinched all 20 chairmanship positions and 375 out of 376 councillorship seats. A political landslide, if a lot of people would say. But from the opposition came a chorus of frustration, alleging everything from missing party names on ballot papers to outright ballot stuffing, voter suppression, late arrival of materials, and a total breakdown in logistics. Parties like the AAC, SDP, Labour Party, and PDP have described the polls as shameful, fraudulent, and undemocratic, claiming the election lacked credibility and robbed Lagosians of a fair democratic process. Yet, from the APC camp came celebration and confidence. They hailed it as a vote of trust, a confirmation of grassroots loyalty, and a mandate to continue their development agenda. So what's really happened at the polls? Was it a genuine reflection of the people's will or a stage-managed show of dominance? And more importantly, how does this outcome shape the political landscape heading into 2027? Well, welcome to Politics Uncensored, your unapologetic spotlight on Nigeria's political realities. Today, we turn our attention to Lagos, the heartbeat of the nation's politics and economy, where the recently concluded local government elections have stirred a mix of reactions, from triumph to apathy and everything in between. For many, these elections felt like a dress rehearsal for what lies ahead in 2027. But beyond the voter turnout and party wins, key questions linger. Did the people truly have a say? Were the elections fair? What message did the outcome send to both the ruling party and the opposition? And most importantly, how will this shape political mobilization, strategy, public trust moving forward? These are the pressing questions. But of course, our goal will always be to provide a platform for open and honest discussions where experts and everyday citizens can share their perspectives and insights. It's your favorite show, and we have 3 expert guests who will be joining us very soon. I'm your anchor, Okikiola Taiwo Jalukmo, a proud member of a new generation of leaders, young, bold, and unapologetically committed to redefining the future of governance in this great nation. Call me the polyhumanitarian, and I'm here to make political discussions accessible to us. We want to hear from you because this conversation is a very, very important one. It's been a mix of a lot of statements from different parties, and we just want to hear from the people what they also have to say. Every of our episode is all about you, so be a part of the conversation every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday to add your voice to these discussions. You can also head on to our YouTube channel and follow us at Official Upgrade TV. Hit that subscribe button, like, share this link, invite your friends and families to also join the show right now. You can also call us on 070-2500-7749 and 070-14242420. Let's hear what you have to say. We'll go on a break right now and return with our guests for today. Please stay tuned and don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are still watching Politics Uncensored, and today we are here to discuss the Lagos local government elections, its outcome and its impact on the next elections. According to Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission, that's the LISEC, the All Progressive Congress swept the polls, winning all 20 chairmanship seats and 375 out of the 376 councillorship positions, and only one person won the seat under the PDP. A very clean sweep, and it's quite surprising. I don't know how I should feel, but if the numbers look this neat, the story underneath is anything but. The opposition has fiercely rejected the process. Parties like the AAC, PDP, Labour Party, and SDP have come forward with damning allegations, saying that they have been missing party names on ballot papers, late arrivals of election officials, bribery and ballot stuffing, widespread voter apathy, and in many words, no actual voting activity at all. The AAC called the process a shame to democracy. The PDP questioned questioned how low turnout figures could exceed those of a presidential election in some areas. The SDP claimed it was outrightly excluded from ballots. Across the board, what should have been a civic exercise became, in their own words, daylight robbery. Yet from the APC camp came a different story, one of trust, continuity, and grassroots loyalty. They say Lagosians have once again affirmed their confidence in the party's ability to govern at the most local level. So what's really going on? Was this a legitimate win or just another power play? Did voters truly have a voice, or was their silence a sign of a growing fatigue with a rigged system? And ultimately, what does this mean for Lagos and Nigeria and at large as we begin the long walk to 2027? Joining us to unpack these are three powerful voices. We have Kamal Oyedunle, who is the Vice Chairman of Revenue at Agege Local Government. We also have Okpeyemi Ogunlami, who is the Community Coordinator of the Take It Back movement. And finally, we have Comrade Ayinde Olawale, who is the Deputy Chairman of the AAC. And to be honest, this is just about one election. It's about the future of democracy at the most fundamental level. Your street, your ward, your voice. So this is where I welcome Olawale, Okpeyemi, and Kamal. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining the show. I'm going to be starting off with Honorable Kamal. Honorable Kamal, your party APC won 20 chairmanship seats and 375 of the 376 councillorship positions. Isn't that too perfect to be believably a political diverse state, you know, like Lagos?
Right. Okay. Good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon.
I would like to start with a Yoruba adage that says, a knocked-knee man is carrying a load, you know, and people are complaining that, you know, the load is not somehow straight. But, you know, people now told them that you are looking at this knocked-knee man, you are just looking at the load. Why not look at the cost from underground, you know, from below? The last time I was on this show, we discussed about the fact that there's always voters' apathy during the LG election.
Yeah.
And don't forget that our party, though we have metamorphosed, you know, through the years from AD to AC to ACN, then to APC, but we've never lost an election until we lost Lagos to Labour Party. So before this particular election, the message was clear. We cannot afford a repeat of what happened during the last presidential election. And as a player in this whole movement, we went down to dig what are the causes of this, you know, apathy. You know, and that was what we tackled, you know, headlong. And that is why you see local governments churning out results. You'll be surprised that despite the fact that we are the ruling party in Lagos, we did more work, we canvassed more than any other party, we have, you know, structures more than any other party. It's fair for any party to come out to say that they rigged out, but the truth is that I want to know those parties, you do your work meetings. 376 words in Lagos. How many words do you have to bring out your register? When do you do your ward meeting? So a party that doesn't do ward meeting, that's not available in all cry that you rigged out of an election. Don't forget that even this one ward APC member, the guy who clicked that ticket under the platform of PDP actually belongs to the APC.
Honorable Kamal, I seem to be losing you, I think, because of your network.
You know, you cannot you cannot cry. The last thing you heard.
I just heard about the collation of ward level meetings. Okay, I think Honorable Kamal's network is really acting up. But of course, we still have Okpeyemi and Comrade Ayinde here. So, Comrade Ayinde, let me start off with you. You are the deputy chairman of the AAC, and there have been, headlines and news of the party stating that the election is a shameful disgrace, to Lagosians, and didn't allow Lagosians experience a free and fair election. What's your take on that, and why is that from your own angle?
Okay, thank you, should I say comrades, honorable Halipo. Thank you for having me in this show. I want to say categorically, without any economical with the truth, there was no election held in Lagos on Saturday. And I monitored the election of 5 local governments, and we have other of our members in other local governments. I was at Ajeromi Ifelodun, I was at Oshodi, I was at Woroshoki, I was at Ikeja, and also at Maryland, Monday. So what we saw on Saturday is just a daylight robbery, and LASEC already failed in our constitution responsibility as established in the law that made up LASEC to function. There were a late arrival of materials for voters. There was low turnout, so it was so surprising that we are seeing figures. We have all this, we have the video evidence of this. We have been in a place where ballot is being thumbprint by the LASEC officials. We have the videos with us. Because as a party, we created an online link in which all our monitoring team connected to, and it was recorded live on a Google Drive. So we have that.
Comrade Ayinde, can you be more audible, please, so that I can hear you as clear as I want, so that I can...
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Can you hear me now, Grace?
Yes, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. So, LASEC could have informed the other political parties not to participate in the election at all, since they know what they want to do. I think I was in a meeting with the Honorable Commissioner of the LASEC. I attended about 2 town meetings that she organized. I told her face to face that the commission is not ready for this election. First time in the history of Lagos, the APC the Lagosian with the opposition party in Lagos State wake them up to really do as if they really want to do an election. This is the first time in the history of Lagos that you see that people were really campaigning door to door, house to house for a grassroots election. If APC is going to win, let there be a fair playing ground for all political parties. We saw voters intimidation, we saw voters harassment. My state treasurer was assaulted at Lagos Island. We have the video evidence. We saw where people were being... I don't know why the politicians of nowadays have subjected Lagosians to even ordinary sachets of alcohol were given to people to vote. What happened in Lagos on Saturday was not an election. It is not. Ballot and voting materials get to some centers around 12 o'clock. We have the video evidence, we have the picture evidence. In some areas, they were not allowed anybody that wants to vote opposition party. In at least we have candidates in 9 local governments in Lagos State, and which we monitor them perfectly. If not that we cried out on the eve to the election, the commissioner for LASEC were ordering party tax agents for agents. It is when we went online to go and cry out, which they have given APC agents their tax as early as possible on Friday morning. But they delay other political parties for their party agents, and which they know what they are doing. Imagine party tax were given to state executive around 7 p.m. on Friday evening. If you have a candidate at Badagry, how do you expect that material should get in there? LASEC fails also to paste voters registered in all ward collation centers in Lagos State as prescribed by the law that established LASEC. It was pasted in few collation centers. There was not accreditation of voters done before the election commenced on Saturday. These are very little facts with video evidence. So nobody should come here and tell us that parties that are not organizing ward meeting do not complain that APC won on the last month. We are not interested who won the election. What we are interested in was the process fair, transparent, and do we have integrity in it?
Comrade, you have said a number of things, and basically just saying that the system is rigged or was rigged during the local government elections. Well, I'm going to throw this straight to Honorable Kamal. Honorable Kamal, do you believe parties like the AAC are just using this as an excuse for their own electoral failures, or is this because I can see that these are two different stories here? So I want this to be as conversational as possible. He has said that in a lot of polling unit and local governments there were voter intimidation. He mentioned someone being assaulted over the Saturday election. He also mentioned the places he went to, from Ajerimo, Ifelodo, to quite a number of other wards in Lagos. So I would like to know, Honorable Kamal, do you think that this was the same thing you saw, or it's just the AAC at this point, bringing their own controversy theory?
All right. Thank you very much. Do you know what one of the things I learned very early in my career, few occurrences as a major event. Comrade, they just spoke now that they had representation in 9 local governments.
Yes.
And we have 20 local governments and 37 LCDAs in Lagos.
Yes.
That is one of that there were flaws all over. I think it's an aberration, because you were at Odiolowo. You were, I don't know, maybe you said Odibongo, Ikeja. Were you at Agege? Were you at Orilagege? Were you at Pakojai? Were you at K2? Were you at, elections in Nigeria, we all know that we are not perfect. We're still, in the process of getting there. Logistics would always be a problem. You said you have a place where they started voting by 12. And I can tell you that I have places in Agege that they started voting as early as 8:30. So those are two different things. So you don't generalize your experience, especially when, it's not in the majority. For example, if you tell me now that you have candidates in 35 local government, then I can now say, yes, yes, you have a point, you have something valid, that we can work with. But saying in 9 local government, yes, of course, you have the right, to hear your grievances. But the truth is that if we rate this election, I will still score LASEC, I'll still score them high, and I think they've passed by all indices that you want to look at it. The fact, even within parties, there are skirmishes. Within APC, we see how people, we have in fight. Within the AAC, you can have in fights too, So those things are things that cannot take away from an election. But the truth is that concerning this election, if you are looking at the performance of APC, then do not look in the direction of LASEC. do not look in the direction of vote buying. Look in the direction of a set of people who realize the fact that they failed. And we all know that failure is not one who doesn't fall, but who gears himself up every time he fails or falls to move on again. And that's what APC has done in this particular cycle of election. Thank you.
Honorable Kamal, you said you are really insinuating at this point that this was a fair and peaceful process, and you said that while hitch and glitches might be there in some cases, you are scoring like a very high pass mark. And personally, in my polling unit, the election materials came about after 11 o'clock, almost 12 o'clock, which I asked the LISEC official what had happened, and he said that logistic problem either way, but after he set up, it was a peaceful, voting up until the vote ended. But let me just say that that's me talking for my own polling unit. So, Okwemi and Comrade Aide, do you believe that this statement that Honorable Kamal has made reflects the reality on ground? Or at this point, are we experiencing some level of gaslighting? And I want to hear from Okwemi. I really want to hear what he has to say before I go straight to Comrade Aide. Do I have Okwemi here?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, of course we can.
Okay, thank you for having me. First and foremost, I need to bring this up that I was also a candidate in the election that passed. I contested for councillorship in Oworonshoki, Ward A, and I would define this election as shambles. It is more or less of a selection than an election.
Please, can you state why that is? I want us to be as open as possible. So I would like certain examples while you make your statement.
I am.
Thank you.
That's what I want to say. Now, from the screening of LASEC, it's just big nonsense. LASEC requested we come to their office from 10 a.m. We got to their office at 10 a.m. They gave different dates to different political parties. We got there 10 a.m. I personally got there around, that's past 10. And then we were attended to at 7 p.m. in the evening. So I had to get up with some of our comrades there and told them that we hope they are going to treat APC candidates, including their returning chairman, or the chairman that want to be elected, the same way they have treated us. At least after that same day, we went 2 different days for screening with our original documents. Nothing happened. So we made our statement in their office that we look forward to a better election. But unfortunately, in my own area, the election was just nonsense. It was nothing to write home about. The election only shows that the power that be cannot be transparent enough, and they are not even dropping any legacy for Nigerians. I'm dropping an example again. In the election process, some of our polling units and the areas where APC candidates or APC as party in my own area does not have an edge, they decide to destroy the electoral process in that area. What am I trying to say? There's a particular area in the Oworonshoki. That area, they call it power base in the Oworonshoki, and there are 1,100 electorates in that area. Sadly, before the election, we have heard that in those polling areas where APC does not have a hedge, they won't bring polling booths down there. I was on News Central with our party chairman, and I stated the secrets that came out from LASEC, that where they don't have a hedge, they will not bring ballot box. But this was countered. They brought ballot box. We had our polling unit agents in that place with LASEC officials. But To our surprise, on their own voters register, they have 1,001 electorates, but they brought only 100 ballot paper, 100. And then people finished voting. In fact, before even other party agents got there, they have done their magic and people started voting. By the time people finished voting, a lot of other people were still standing and they said paper is over and paper has finished. How come? How could paper finish? And we're still having more than 1,000 people standing, waiting to vote. But 100 papers were brought. That's one. In another location, the location I just reported now was Babayemi area in Oworonshoki. Now, in another location, they went with money. There were evidences of APC agents and canvassers giving out PVCs to people. They gave PVC to some youths and they came to me. I mean, I'm giving you eyewitness account that they gave PVC to them to vote. People who don't even have PVC were given PVC. I still have youths in the streets that seized those PVCs. There were men that were drinking. They went to them, gave 5,000 naira each to more than 12 people to go and vote. And they did. I can send you voice notes of people on my WhatsApp giving us records of hanky-panky and manipulation. At a particular polling unit in Oworonshoki, around a mosque, they bribed official party agents of other parties, but some didn't collect, some collect. Like our own agent in that place rejected the money because the candidates that I stand as, we how do I put it? We are purposeful. We are on course, and people know that. So they bribed our agents. The agents refused. Meanwhile, other party agents have accepted their own money and they decided to move with it. At about 40 or 45 minutes to end that election there, they went there, they beat up the guy. And as they were beating the guy, their own men went there and started on printing and they put all their papers into the ballot box. How do we define that? Let the APC chairman or whoever is here explain that. They employ thugs to disrupt electoral processes.
Let me come in at this point. So these are very, very serious and strong accusations or allegations in this sense. And I'm a very strong advocate for evidence and reports. And sometimes maybe these things cannot be featured maybe on shows like this, but of course I believe that beyond your WhatsApp status, we know that the media has a trail and a blueprint. So this is more asking like a personal question in your defense in this sense. Were these evidence taken and videos or voice notes posted to the general public to be able to address this issue of voter intimidation? I just want the yes or no answer.
No evidence, no video evidence can be taken when the person that wants to record is the only agent at a polling unit and is being beaten. How would he take video evidence? Though my own reaction was there. I told them when I got there that when such thing happen, they should make sure they scatter the vote and that place will be cancelled because they called for it. How can somebody who is at a polling unit and being beaten record the incident while being beaten? There was no chance for that.
But we calls have for violence at this point.
And they are hanky-panky. But we do not want to be violent. If we want it, it would have gone the way APC wanted it.
I get you. So we have a comment here, and this person is saying, hello, Jalukman, can I call in? Of course, you can call in. The number is 070-1424-2420. You can call us and have this conversation with us. Onye Wuchi Odikanwa is saying, my candidates were intimidated, and is asking Mr. Kamal, stop defending the obvious. For the sake of our sensibility, please be truthful for our unborn kids. Be sincere. We can't have a Nigeria with a corrupt democracy from the polls. And then he's still going on to say APC distributing PVCs to malams and some people to vote multiple times in broad daylight. And I said it, I'm going to repeat again. I'm a big advocate for what video evidences are there so that if people were truly intimidated, they can't get justice for that case. Who knows who would have won, and they were intimidated in that sense, just like Opeyemi is alleging. So I want to ask Comrade Ayinde at this point. Okoyemi has said so many things about voter intimidation, voter apathy, and I want to first let us separate LISEC from the APC so that we can know what we are addressing from the LISEC part of angle and what we are addressing from the APC, the
Unfortunately,
ADC.
we can't from our own side.
Well, that's why I'm
Unfortunately, we
saying
can't.
that let's first start with separating.
Should I just cut in there, please? I'm
No,
sorry.
no,
Should
I
I
want
just cut in
Comrade
there?
Ayinde to speak before. I'm sure that's Opeyemi
Okay.
speaking. I want Comrade Ayinde
Okay.
to speak before we go. That's why I'm saying that
Okay.
let's first start with separating them. And this would bring me to my question before he could give his own comment on what we have been saying. So there have been growing calls for these LISEC reforms, just like you have mentioned. LISEC, you've mentioned how LISEC is being rigged, how they have been tampered, their transparency has been tampered with, and how the accreditation process didn't go as planned. So what then are we expected of LISEC to do other than the accreditation process? I've seen the Youth Party come on this table to talk about how the LISEC process was a very recommendable one. We had somebody from the SDP also come up to say that the LISEC process was a recommendable one. So that's why I'm here to categorically say it's not really an APC or a LISEC thing. I'm trying to allow us address first LISEC, and then we can address the other parties that you might feel aggrieved to. Because I know that Honorable Kamal at this point would always defend this party just the way you are defending your party right now and the election. So, Comrade Ayinde, please you can unmute and then give your own take on this conversation.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Firstly, I want to tell you that there's no how you can separate LASEC from what is going on here, because LASEC is the engine room that APC used to perfected all their games Saturday. And LASEC failed. Firstly, they're supposed to have conducted the election in only 20 local governments. LASEC ignores the Supreme Court judgment on autonomy. They started with their normal way of arranging themselves. It was, imagine, a law was set up for a local government election. The law is not in public. We attended a town meeting at their office at Yaba. The LASEC commissioner was he told the party representatives in the meeting that they will need to pay to have access to the law that will guide an election they want to participate in. I stood up, I told the commissioner that it is not possible. The law should be in the public space. I should be able to have access to the law, even on social media. But they couldn't, up to date, the law is not in public. So she went quickly to go and make photocopies of those papers that day and gave to all parties of the meeting. But I told him, this is not the process. On that note, LASEC cannot be put aside for what is going on in Lagos State. And I'm really afraid of what will happen in 2027. I'm fully afraid. They've already tested their minds on Saturday at K2. If not for the intervention of the DPO of K2 police station, they will have seriously dealt with our candidates there. We have all the recording on the Google Drive. We are coming up for LASEC but it's not now. But you just get prepared for us.
So with this statement, on the news. It's like we
You just get prepared for us.
So with this statement, on the news. It's like we have seen the chairman and you, the deputy chairman of the AAC, calling for the resignation of the LISEC chairman and a cancellation of the election. So let's assume that doesn't happen. What's going to be next? Is it going to be legal action or mass mobilization in this sense?
Yes, we are going to take all due process that is officially known by the Nigeria Constitution to deal with that commission, to make them to understand that they cannot rob Lagosians in a daylight like this. Madam, and I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything here. The APC themselves, they know that no election held in Lagos on Saturday. Our own stand is this. If they are very capable of winning an election, let it be a level playground. Let it be a level playground. So it should not be a thing of intimidation. There was a polling unit in Mafuluku that I also visited. As at after 12, the LASEX just kept there. As at 12:30, the ballot box is still empty. I interviewed the LASEC officials, with the party agents that are there. And I told them, I asked them, I hope if I should come back in the next 1 hour, the ballot will have filled up in the ballot box. Do you know what the man told me? He said, if I should come back in the next 2 hours, people will have come out and voted, and the ballot will fill up. I said, eh. So the people that are not on the queue, there's no any single polling unit point that you will get to on Saturday that you will meet at least 10 people on the queue. 10 people on the queue that they want to vote. 10 people on the queue. There are some polling units in that 11, 12 o'clock till 3 p.m. No queue. Because people were not even interested in wasting their time in a perfect robbery that they have perfected and if the election. The whole street of Lagos, youth were busy playing football. Even adults were busy drinking in front of their houses. So where did APC see all those figures they are displaying now? I think we need to check our conscience. This is our country. Let's learn to say the truth as is expected of us.
I think that the seat is
so AAC is going to AAC is going to take legal action against them. They're going to meet in court. And LASEC should prove to us that an election was held in Lagos, July 12th. Thank you.
I believe the seat is getting hot and everybody is at the edge of defending what seems right to them. But we'll take a breather at this point and then come back again with our dear guests who have joined us to explain what has happened during the local government election, the outcomes, and even what the future holds for Nigerians towards 2027. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back shortly. Welcome back to the show. You are still watching Politics Uncensored, and of course, we're discussing the Lagos local government polls, its outcomes, and the implication on future elections. We have Honorable Kamal here, Comrade Olawale, and of course, Okpeyemi, who was also a candidate of the AAC during the last election. But we've had so many comments from all three of them, and we also have viewers. If you want to phone in, you can phone in. Of course, we want to hear from you. Our phone numbers are 070-142-420. So call us now. We want to hear from you. But going back to Honorable Kamal, well, young voters have said that, or if I'll say young voters and opposition candidates have said that the system is rigged, and you've heard it OHA from Comrade Olawale and, of course, Okpeyemi. But what would you say to these young voters and the opposition candidates who believed that the system is rigged against them? I'm asking this because as they combine what happened during the election, they're highlighting that it's an APC problem. And maybe it's quite sad that you have to bear the brunt for it. But of course, if you decide that you want to be under a party, you must defend your party with your whole heart. So please, if you could give your comment on all that have been said by Comrade and, of course, Okpeyemi, we would like to know what your take is at this point. Do I have Honorable Kamal here? Honorable Kamal, can you hear me? Hello, we have a caller. Hello. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Politics Uncensored. Okay, I guess network is playing a whole lot on us this afternoon. Do we still have Honorable Kamal here? Okay, so I believe that network
Yes, I'm here.
is... Okay, wonderful. I don't know if you heard my question.
Okay. I heard perfectly well.
Yeah, wonderful. While you're answering that, I really want
Can you
you
hear
to...
me?
Yes, while you're addressing that, I really want you to address from the angle of voter turnout, because I could say for a fact also that the voter turnout was very low, across many wards. So I want you to address it from that angle and maybe tell us what this says about the APC's mandate when, a lot of Nigerians didn't show up to vote.
All right. Okay. Comrade has been making one particular mistake that I mentioned the other time, and that is trying to generalize, everything. Like he said there are no streets where you have up to 10 voters on the queue. But on the contrary, I can show you video and photo evidence of where we have as many as 30, 40 people on the queue. So you are just seeing this from your own prism alone. And I would also like to react to what Okpeyemi said. When you were asked about the fact that if you have video evidences, because I believe that after the elections, the election tribunal has been set up, and all these evidences you have are supposed to go to the tribunal, to verify, to support your case. If you expected me to cheat, for example, and you don't have a strategy in place to capture me or to make sure you catch me in the heart, act of stealing. Expected APC that, okay, APC, they are teams, they are this, and you expected that, okay, they will cheat in this election, and you didn't have a strategy to capture them on video, to make sure that you have all these things set up, then that means your strategy wasn't smashing figures. In 2021, Agege had won chairmanship election with over 5,000 votes. But this particular election, we had 31,503 votes. Do you know why? Because when you keep saying that there was no election, was just rigged, it's an insult on the labor of people like us. I can't remember the last time I slept for 5 hours. Sincerely, I can't remember the last time I slept for 5 hours. We've been on the field, meeting upon meeting, strategy upon strategy, and it's because we have identified the fact that there's
Honorable
always
Kamal, we have a caller who is calling in to speak. Can we give him a break to just quickly answer?
Okay, let's
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Wonderful to have you here. This is Politics Uncensored. So I'm sure you've heard that we were talking about the Lagos local government election and the outcomes and what it means for the future of Nigeria. So I'm sure you called for a reason. So yes, let's hear you.
All right. My name is Honorable Onyewuchi Odekanwa. So I contested in this election in Kokaguda, Surulere. So in summary, this election was totally a sham. For the future of democracy in Nigeria, it is very important for everybody to take responsibility. The voters, the parties, the electoral bodies. LASEC is totally an extension of APC. We have full evidence of how voters were denied access to the polling booths, how thugs of APC mounted polling units, how votes were, well, we had multiple votes. My own votes, there was a deliberate intimidation of my agents to overturn my own votes and change the records. So, Mr. Kamal, Honorable Kamal, there are video evidences. When the panel is fully constituted, my party will be represented. Now, let me say on the final note, one of your guests had mentioned it. If APC is truly ready to contest an election with organic votes, no, APC does not have organic votes. They only rely on the fact that they're in power, the fact that they have the institutions in control to take power. One of the honorables also mentioned, if LASEC is not ready for this election, they should just told political parties and be humble about it and be sincere. Let us stop robbing democracy. Democracy is a beautiful thing. It's a process that allows the people to make their choice through the polls. But there are no polls here. So this is my final. For the future of democracy, APC and LASEC should allow democracy to thrive. Why is APC intimidated? Why? Why are they scared of organic votes? Januko, I understand you are anchoring this program. I want to stop here.
Thank you very
and
much.
say to all of us that you cannot buy the hearts of voters by intimidation, oppression, and by deceit. You can't be in power by deceit. Allow people vote. I saw what happened. I was a witness. It's not just, there are video evidences. There are video evidence. We'll show them at the appropriate time. But for Nigerians to understand that election is a process, it's a time to decide who is credible. People don't want APC, and they know this. So
thank you very much, Honorable. Thank you so much for adding your input to this conversation. And I like that you have come out boldly to lay your claims, just like this platform is free for all to air their grievances, their suggestions, their opinions. So, yes, thank you for calling in. Honorable Kamal, while we're wrapping up the show, I'm going to ask each guest here their own parting shot. This is Honorable Kamal would have to give his own parting shot so that I can also move on to Comrade Ayinde and, of course, Opeyemi to give their parting shot. The caller has mentioned that the APC wins elections because of the control, that they control the machinery and not because of actual support. So, giving your parting shot, what would you say as we end the episode for today?
Taiwo, politics is beyond trying to massage people's emotions. In my local government, the Accord Party won a councillorship seat in 2017. The YPP won a councillorship seat in 2021. In fact, this particular round of elections, we had a close shave with the Labour Party in one of the wards, and we had a close shave with YPP in other wards. Don't forget that this is the same Lagos where Peter Obi won the election with 582,000 votes as against Bola Tinubu's 570,000 votes. When all those happened, people did not cry blue mother, but all of a sudden, now see, all these things are just, I don't know. Well, everybody has the right, to his or her experiences. But from my own experience, from the point that I stand, and don't forget that one of the things that really helped APC during this round of election is that we fielded so many young candidates, and that's what people want to see. In Agege, our vice chairmanship candidate is 30 years old. Go to Odiolowo, Sheyi Jakonde is very young. Go to Onigbongbo, what's the name? Very young. Go to Ikeja, the vice chairman, Omishori, very young. So we have, go to Ifakojaye, go to Odumbaku, in Ojodu. We have very young candidates. And that is why people have chosen to follow them. So for you to say otherwise, I think it's unfair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable, for giving us your parting shot. I would really love to hear from Comrade Ayinde before we move to Opeyemi to wrap up the show. So, Comrade Ayinde, you have the floor.
Thank you. I think there's no how the truth will be under a carpet. There's no how. Mr. Kama, I will encourage you to see beyond what we have today as a country. APC is pushing Nigerians, especially Lagosians, to a point whereby there will be a total revolt, and nobody have monopoly of violence. What APC show on Saturday, it is violence, but people just try to follow the process. We have video evidences. Now, the panel they want to set up, please, we are encouraging them to do it very fast. It will be more than what they saw during the NCAS panel, because we are going to make sure we mobilize every process that is legally to challenge what happened on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
We as a party
Thank
not
you
going to
very
accept
much,
it.
Comrade Ainde. I really want
Thank
in
you.
10 seconds for Kweyemi to also speak so that we have a fair playing ground on the show this afternoon. So, Kweyemi, please give your parting shot as we wrap up the show in very small 10 seconds.
Hello. Okay, my parting shot will just be, let me speak to men of the NURTW. They are the tools in the hands of APC. Are their children living better lives? Let me speak to their polling unit agents that are used in our streets. Are their children living better lives? Are they themselves living better lives? They have actually been used as footstools by APC gladiators for themselves and for their children. They will never remember you for any good. You need to know that. So let us work together for a cordial and a better society other than a shamble political system operating. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Okweyemi. That was a wonderful parting shot. Some of our comments that we've had here, Jegede Kehinde Olatunji is saying it was a serious abnormality that took place on Saturday while agents were molested at Ajeromi Ifelodun. One of the polling unit agents' phones was destroyed by the APC thugs. He also mentioned that intimidation of the voters at this time was unimaginable. APC thugs didn't allow other political party supporters to vote. These are huge claims, and I'm glad that they mentioned that the LISEC is organizing a panel where all of these can be debated. But basically, you've heard it all, the justifications, the frustrations, the facts, and the spin. But here's what I know. The truth doesn't need a press release. It shows up in empty polling units, in missing ballot box, in the silence of people who no longer believe that their vote counts. And that's not democracy, that's performance. To those in power, if your victory demands voter apathy and questionable processes, it's not a win, it's a warning. And to the opposition, if all you do is cry foul after every election, yet fail to build systems that can actually contest power, you are not an alternative, you are just a footnote. And to the people, I get it, you are tired of the recycled candidates, rigged results, and elections that feel, like deja vu. But silence has never saved a country, neither has sitting this one out. So whether you're in office, in opposition, or on defense, the next election starts now. And the real question is, will we continue playing the game or finally change the rules? This is Politics Uncensored, and every truth, no matter how uncomfortable, gets its moment in light. Before I go, do ensure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV. Until next time, keep staying informed. Bye-bye.